Welcome everybody to Rewind the Times. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Oh man, so I have seen The Flash twice already. Probably gonna see it a third time this weekend. Absolutely really enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it more the second time I seen it because like I said in my previous video, I believe the hype was so big for this movie that I don't think the movie could even withstand how big the hype was. Warner Brothers was making this out to be the next best thing. Comparing it to The Dark Knight, you have people like, and I'm not insulting anybody, but people like Soups, Matt Ramos, really nice kid. I mean, his TikTok videos are, I just seen The Flash. It's the most incredible thing. Believe the hype. The movie, listen, the movie really is good. It is. It has moments of greatness in it. But the way they made this movie, like, it wasn't a 10 out of 10. It was an 11 out of 11, and we rarely ever see movies like that, especially in the comic book, in the comic book area. I mean, there are some amazing comic books, and I am going to do a video of my top 10 favorite comic book movies of all time. But I wanted to talk about the DCEU today, and right now The Flash is not doing great. At the box office, I think right now it's at 145 million dollars, which is way lower than I think Warner Brothers thought. Obviously, with all the promotion they put behind it, and even a lot lower than I thought. I thought this movie would at least see 700, 800 million, and it's a China release. So right now, it has 75 million international, but it hasn't. The past week has come up and it hasn't shown international yet. So obviously it's gonna get higher. But I want to kind of go back to October 21st of 2022. And the reason I want to go to back to that day because that's when Black Adam was coming out. And everyone that watches my channel, I am a huge Black Adam fan. Just to see a Black Adam movie is amazing. It's kind of one of those obscure movies, that maybe Black Adam shouldn't have. Most movie. Okay, a villain like Black Adam because he's such a part-time villain. I don't think any of us were ever expecting to, excuse me, ever expecting him to get his own movie. I can see him co-starring and being part of a Shazam movie, but to get his own movie, I mean, The Rock literally took an inch and he turns it into 10 yards, and the movie, now that we're thinking back, it really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad of a movie. Anyone that watches my channel knows I have been singing the praises for Black Adam since day one. I've seen it 6 times in the theaters. I paid for 2 other families to see it. But that day was such an important day for the DCU in general because, first of all, The Rock, one of the world's greatest actors, one of the biggest, whether you like him or not, he really is. He's one of the best actors. Whatever his name is signed to, usually makes a lot of money. And he was entering the DCEU. I mean, the excitement was fucking nuts. Everybody was getting excited. And he brought back Henry Cavill, something that nobody could do. And it sucks. It's so hard to watch Black Adam right now because the ending is really bittersweet. I still have my fingers crossed that Henry Cavill will come back to play Superman. I think with the right situation, I think Henry will come back. He loves this role. I mean, if there's any actor in this world or any person that's in this world, because comic books are not real, obviously, but if there's any person, if God handed me a pencil and said, I need you to draw who you think or what would Superman look like, I'd give him the pencil back and say, you've already created him. It's Henry Cavill. He looks like Clark Kent. He looks like Kal-El. He looks like Superman. And the excitement and the buzz was just nuts. I was actually watching back. I went back a little bit and I was looking at my videos from that. And everybody, it felt like the DC as a general was winning again. We just got him back. He announced he was back. The excitement was through the roof. He was like, even in his video, which is still on the DC channel, or the Warner Brother channel or whatever, they were saying, he was saying, I'm gonna come back. This is just the beginning. Like I think we were in for something so exciting. And I mean, the Black Adam movie, after seeing The Flash, like I said earlier in one of my videos, the Flash, it may have Zack Snyder's characters, but they don't feel like Zack Snyder's characters. Yes, you have Barry Allen, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen it. I'm sorry, but yeah, this is Gail. Yeah, they have Gail Gadot. Obviously, they have Ben Affleck's Batman. Jeremy Irons is in it. Jason Momoa is Aquaman. Everybody pretty much except Cyborg. Unfortunately, I love Ray Fisher. I'd love to see him come back someday. But it's like almost those characters themselves were multiverse characters because they weren't the Ben Affleck that we know. Even though Ben says this was the greatest, this is like he finally got the role, and he's like now I finally got the role, and now I'm not playing it no more. But I think given the right time and maybe and obviously money, I think Ben will come back. I heard, matter of fact, I just read an article real quick to get off subject. He put like $50,000 into his home to put like a secret bat cave behind a bookshelf. That's fucking Batman right there. And honestly, I love Ben's version of Batman. It's the Frank Miller one. It's the old gritty version. Love that Batman. And Ben is that version, like just perfect. Good looking man. Ben is one of the few actors that play Batman that portray Bruce Wayne and portray Batman. Some people are just a good Bruce Wayne or a good Batman. He, like Keaton, I believe. Keaton's my favorite Batman. When I look at Keaton, I see Bruce Wayne, I see Batman. I look at Ben Affleck, I see Bruce Wayne, I see Batman. George Clooney, I see Bruce Wayne, I don't see Batman. Val Kilmer, I see Bruce Wayne, I don't see Batman. You know what I mean? So there's just a few of them that actually play both. Adam West was Bruce Wayne and Batman. Whatever you want about Adam West, and I know he's like kind of the comedic one. They call him the Bright Knight, which I like that version too. He was Bruce Wayne and Batman. So let's go back to when Black Adam came out. It had that tone, because this movie, The Flash, doesn't feel like a Zack Snyder tone. It's more lighthearted. It's really more of a comedy. It's like an action comedy. But Black Adam had that. I mean, Black Adam, his introduction to the DCEU, his scene where he comes, might be one of the best introductions for a superhero ever, in my opinion. Ever. These are strictly my opinions. I love his introduction. He comes out with that song, The Man in Black, and he's fucking killing guys. And I mean, oh shit, man. Like, he's here, and he's here to fuck you up. And it had that dark tone. It had that realism, that art, that cinematic art that Zack Snyder catches. And it felt great. Man, I remember going to work that night, and one of my fellow workers looked at me and he's like Henry Cavill's back, and I was like, dude, our Superman's back, man. And it just felt amazing to have our Superman back. Fast forward maybe a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, James Gunn announced as the head of CEO, him and Peter Safran. And at first, I was happy, and the reason I was happy was because for a long time, there was no direction. There was no one leader that was taking on the role of DC. It was all, I mean, there was Walter Hamada, but I mean, there was no like one main guy that I felt like was the main guy that was just like leading the way, like Marvel has with Kevin Feige. And you know what? I was happy, but I was a little worried too. And the reason I was a little worried is because James Gunn's movies, he does very good with obscure characters. He does a great job with them, I think. But that's good for that. I like Peacemaker. I like Guardians of the Galaxy. His Suicide Squad, I like his take of it. I like certain characters, I should say, but it's not one of my favorite movies. Obviously, I'm going to do a listing of my favorite DCEU movies, and then I'm going to do a listing of my favorite comic book movies. And obviously his movie's on the list because it's a DCU movie, but it's not one that I rush to go watch. It's really not. Honestly, I prefer the first one over the second one. I think the first one is really good, especially since the Ayer cut, there was so much taken out. I'd love to see that cut. I want to see that cut someday, like a lot of us DC fans. But when he came on, I was excited because I felt like we finally had direction. But at the same time, I was like, oh man, I hope this guy doesn't do all these movies. And I have that gut feeling. I don't want to see fart jokes. I don't want to see poop humor and all this shit. It's funny to an extent, you know, but I just don't. I don't really want to see it. And then when he came out, and then all of a sudden when he announced, that he spoke to Henry or whatever it was, or Henry backed out, whatever it was, and Henry wasn't gonna play Superman no more. It's like someone just sucked all the energy, all the excitement, everything out of us DC fans. You know, when Henry was back, it felt like for the first time in a long time, like us DC fans are winning. Like, oh man, we're winning. Like we're winning. You know, Marvel has such a good track record. Even though you can say whatever you want about Phase 4 and all that other stuff, I mean, they're going. You know what I mean? They've had their bumps in the roads, but they're still a cohesive unit, and they're still going straight. The DCEU it started off strong, and then it kind of dipped, and Black Adam felt like the start of something new. It really did. It felt like from this point on, especially being this year, 2023, it felt like this was supposed to be the year of DCU. It really did. It felt like this was supposed to be the year of the DCEU. 4 movies were coming out. You had Shazam, Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman. And then James came out and announced his slate. And that was the biggest fucking mistake you ever did. Because all this excitement that I had, and I know a lot of other DCEU fans had, you took it away when you got rid of Henry Cavill, who just announced his comeback. And then all of a sudden, you pretty much just told the general audience, because us comic book fans are going to go. I'm going to go no matter what because I love the DCU. I'm a diehard DC fan. Diehard. I was supporting Green Lantern in 2011 with my arm, and I was like, I'm marching the flag for us guys. While other people are like, what are you, nuts? Marvel's blowing you out of the water. I don't care. Marvel, yeah, they may be financially doing better, but you know what, man? Dude, I'm sorry, man. Batman, Iron Man, I'll take Batman. Superman, Black Panther, I'm taking Superman. And don't get me wrong, Marvel has good characters, but they just don't, for some reason, they just don't click with me. I like them, and I will watch them, because I do like comic book movies, but there's just something about DC. There's just something about that brand, that darkness, that realism that I love, and it just clicks with me right away. So James Gunn comes out, and it's like right before the year, like as soon as the year starts, he pretty much says, "Hey guys, you know, I'm coming out with my Gods and Monsters Chapter 1," and he just pretty much tells everybody, "Hey, these next 4 movies mean shit." Before these movies even had a chance to come out, you told the audience these movies mean nothing. Because hey, guess what? In 2025, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever, I'm rebooting everything. So yes, go see these movies. Go waste your hard-earned money, but it doesn't matter because in 3 years, it means nothing. And that was the biggest mistake he could have ever done. Because you know what, man? I was excited to see Shazam 2. I was. And I still think Shazam 2 was a good movie. I mean, it is the all-time lowest grossing movie all time in the DCEU. And then The Flash, which I think the real version, this was a good movie. It could have been a great movie. And maybe it would have been one of the best comic book movies of all time, if not maybe the best. But you can tell that so many hands were in this movie, and so many things were just taken out. I would love to see the real version of this movie, but obviously James Gunn put his hands into it and fucked it up. Then Blue Beetle. Now Blue Beetle I'm very excited for because I love Zola Marandola, first of all. My son loves my 8-year-old. He's on the right track, guys. I'm raising him right. He loves DC. He loves DC characters, and he loves Blue Beetle. It's his favorite character. My 8-year-old went nuts when he seen the trailer. Just nuts. And like I said, I love Zola Marandola. The costume looks amazing. DC just puts out some amazing costumes, and I'm so excited because the movie looks pretty good. People say, "Oh, it's generic, this and that," but I look at it as it's an origin story. It's an introduction to this world, to the DC, and it does look really, really good. The budget was only $120 million, so I think this movie will be profitable. I mean, right now, if it made the money of The Flash, it would have already made some money. I mean, think about it. If the budget's 120, and The Flash has made 145 million, and it's just going into its second week, I think obviously Blue Beetle would be profitable. And I think out of all the movies, Blue Beetle will be the one that probably has the most profit if it does good, which I hope it does. I really do. But who knows, man? Maybe they could have been a cameo. Maybe they could have been a Batman, a Ben Affleck in that movie. Maybe the Flash could have intervened in that movie. Maybe that movie could have introduced Booster Gold. I mean, there could have been so many things. But now that we know that's the first character in the DCU, I think we're going to talk about and maybe hear about Batman or Superman, but we're not going to see Cavill. We're not going to see Ben Affleck or Gail Gott. We're not going to see none of those characters, and that part kind of stings because I like the cameos. I like seeing cameos. I like seeing the the connection between the movies and the worlds. I really do. I'm one of the people that do like that. And then all of a sudden, the Aquaman's coming out, and that's supposed to be the final movie of the DCEU. And Ben Affleck was supposed to be in it. He's talked about Batman, so I'm assuming Michael Keaton was going to be in it. And then I read yesterday about this amazing scene that Ben Affleck filmed, where he was going to fight under the water with his Batmobile. It was going to show that it was going to prove that his Batmobile could fight underwater, and he was going to have an Atlantean suit on. And then James Gunn took that out. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why? Just hearing that sounds amazing. So all this excitement and all this was supposed to be the year of the DCU, and Gunn came and just ripped it apart. You know, Saffron, I don't hear nothing about him, man. He just shuts his mouth and sits back and does nothing. But Gunn comes out and just, I'm rebooting this, and then I'm gonna give you things that you don't want. Let me give you Creature Commandos. What the fuck is that? I'm sorry, I have no clue what that is. I'm not even slightly interested. I'm really not. I like some of the actors that he's bringing in, but I'm not interested in none of that bullshit. I'm sorry. I love what Kevin Feige did. This is one thing I love that he did. This is smart. He said, okay, I'm going to bring Daredevil into the MCU. And who does he go out and get? He doesn't reboot the story. He retells it. And what does he do? He brings in Charlie Cox. Fucking smart, Feige. So smart. You bring in that actor who's already played that role. You're bringing those fans in, even though it may be a new story being told and it may not be as violent as before. You're still bringing that fan base in of the old Daredevil. So smart on his take. That was so smart. Like, why can't, like, and it's not, it doesn't take a rocket science to do that. Well, how come the guy that leads our stuff that we love can't do shit like that? Like, all Gunn had to do was come in, and if you're this great storyteller that you say you are, you love writing, you love directing, why couldn't you just retell? Zach gave you the perfect cast. You know, there is one movie that a lot of people don't like, and it's Birds of Prey. And honestly, how about this? I can watch every DCEU movie. I can watch them all. There are some I love and some I like, but I can watch them all. And even the ones that are not my favorite, I can still find things in it that I like. And one thing about Birds of Prey is I love, I'm going to say her name wrong, Jernette Solmay. She plays Black Canary. I love her version of Black Canary. And she was actually supposed to get her own solo movie. And I was so excited for the longest time when I found out about that. She was in talks to do it. She was supposed to get it. It was supposed to go on. It was supposed to go right to Max. And then all of a sudden, with the reboot and everything, I'm pretty sure that's out the window. But I couldn't wait to see that because I love her version. If you watch Birds of Prey, her version of Black Canary is awesome. It's kick-ass. I mean, it's just the movie may not be the greatest, and some people they rank it high, they rank it low, whatever. It's probably on my lower rank, but I still like them. I still think like there's things about the movie I like. I love her portrayal in that movie. She does a great job, and you know, that's what sucks, man. Is like James Gunn has the perfect cast of all these characters, all of them. I mean, I understand you know what Ezra Miller did. I like Ezra Miller as an actor, and I like his portrayal of Barry Allen. But obviously, what he's done, we don't know yet because you know you're innocent until you're proven guilty. I don't want to label anybody until I know the truth. Just like, you know, I wouldn't want to label you and you wouldn't want to be labeled unless the truth came out. You know what I mean? So maybe there's a few actors he had to redo because of certain situations, but I mean, the cast is right there waiting for you. I mean, you have the perfect cast and the perfect characters that us fans have been supporting for the longest time. And now you want to reboot everything. When really, it didn't have to be rebooted. It just had to be retold. And if you're this great storyteller that you claim that you are, I've seen in your interviews, I have, why are you rebooting everything? And matter of fact, why are you not rebooting everything? Why are you rebooting certain things and keeping the people that are connected to you. That looks so biased. Your wife's been in so many damn cameos. And it seems like anything that is affiliated or touched by James Gunn is staying. That is not fair. That is not fair. You'll keep Amanda Waller and give her own show. But yet she was in the Black Adam movie and she's the one that called Henry Cavill. So you get rid of the two actors that are fucking awesome in that role in Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam and Henry Cavill's Superman, and you keep Amanda Waller. And I love Amanda Waller. I love Viola Davis. She's from Central Falls, Rhode Island. I'm from Rhode Island. I love her. I'm gonna support that woman no matter what. She's an awesome actress, and I love her. I love her portrayal of Waller. But you guys are trying to say, like, out of the three, the two that I think would be staying are not. Like, that shit bothers me. It bothers me. And I know it bothers a lot of other people. What they're doing is just so stupid. It's just so asinine. It's fucking upsetting. And honestly, I have no excitement. I'm not at all. This is supposed to be the year of the DCEU. And I'm not. I'm not excited. I'm going to go watch these movies. Even my girlfriend, who loves movies and loves entertainment, even her, she was like, wow, Henry's back. Holy shit. Henry Cavill's back. Like, even she was excited. And you've taken the enthusiasm, the excitement, James Gunn, away from us DC fans, where for a long time we were suffering, and it felt like The Rock finally put things back on track, and then you just fucking knocked that train right off that track again, and it sucks, man. And you know what, man? You got nothing to blame but yourself. Fans will show you how they feel with their wallet. Oh, and they'll tell you how they feel with their mouth if you go on Twitter. But fans will show you how they feel with their wallets, and they're not even showing up for these movies, and it sucks because DC fans, I believe in my heart, will support the right things. Don't fuck your audience over. Don't fuck your fans over, and that's what you're doing. And you think anyone wants to support you? If you think, I love right now how John Campea came out and said, well, don't expect Superman Legacy to succeed. That's horseshit. He said, oh, well, the DC has to bring back their audience. Dude, James Gunn has divided this fan base. He has fractured the brand. And for John Campea to say that, it's like the biggest insult. Dude, it's his fault these movies are flopping. He may not directed them. He may not casted them. But his impact is felt on them. When he came out and said, hey, guess what? These 4 movies pretty much mean nothing because I'm redoing the universe in 2 years. You just told everybody don't go. Yeah, he is at fault for this. I hate when people don't blame him. He may have not directed or casted, but as the head of DC, as the leader, as the man that is supposed to take charge and go ahead, you fucking shit on the 4 movies that are made. Yeah, man, you are directly responsible for these failures. I'm sorry, but you are, dude. And I love how Campy is like, oh yeah, he don't expect this movie. It's not gonna make a lot of money. Don't give this man an excuse. Don't give that an excuse already. It sucked because think about this, man. If we went and these movies made a lot better, then the studio would go, okay, well, they're doing great because of Zack Snyder's characters. But if they were failing, oh, they're not doing good because of Zack Snyder's characters. No matter what, it's like it was like a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I would do if I was running it is, like I said, man, in my Aaron Fisher with my review, awesome channel, love him. He's a really good guy. Unlike, I'm sorry, whatever. I don't care what anybody says. That The Truth 31. I really like that guy a lot. And I'm not here to talk shit about anyone. I'm not here to start some war with anybody. But I really love that guy's channel. And almost a year ago, he got me onto his channel, DC stuff, The Truth 31. And now all of a sudden, dude, it turned into clickbait shit. And he turned his back on the DCEU when, dude, you were praising it. And now all of a sudden you're shitting on it. And I love people like Aaron who support it, man, and they stick by it when it's not doing good, because it's right now, man, anybody can jump on a team when they're doing great, but it's those loyal fans that just like with sports, When you stick by your team when they're not doing good, the highs feel so high and they feel so great when it turns around and they start doing good again. And I'll tell you now, man, if I had to do the DCEU over, someone said, "Hey, Mike, here you go. What would your ideas would be?" I would really, what I would do is I would just continue from where Black Adam was gonna go. I'd make a Black Adam 2 with Henry Cavill. I love the Rock. I love the idea with the Rock. Make Justice League Part 2, Part 3. I want to see Wonder Woman 1854. You know, I want to see the Flash 2. I want to see the Cyborg movie. Like, just give us what you were supposed to give us. The original slate that we saw years ago. I want to see Ben Affleck's The Batman, which I heard was like the greatest Batman script of all time. Man, I would love to see that. But instead, you took our favorite characters out of here. You're rebooting everything. You're telling us these movies don't mean nothing. I wonder why people are so fucking upset. It sucks, man. And I hope brighter days come. But you know what, man? For about 3 weeks, back in October, from October 21st till Henry announced he wasn't coming back, in between that time, it felt great to be a DC fan. It really did, man. It felt like all that pain and suffering, it just felt like it paid off. And you know, man, if Black Adam got a China release, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Because Black Adam, a part-time villain to a full-time superhero, made $393 million. Yes, the budget was high, but it made $393 million. And it made more money than Shazam 1, and it made more money than Shazam 2. If that got that China release, I guarantee Rock is big internationally, overseas, especially China. Look at his Fast and the Furious movies, Jumanji, Rampage. You're looking at adding another $300 million to that. You're looking at Black Adam being a $700 million movie. Man, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. But unfortunately, it didn't happen, and now we're stuck with this. Because I don't want nothing James is serving up. I don't want nothing that James Gunn's serving up. I want the rest of Zack Snyder's story to be told. I want the rest of that DC story told. Even if Zack is not directly on it, as long as he's there to just guide it, because I know he's doing other things, and I get it. I want that Zack Snyder directed, that I want that vision of that he had, whether it's done through Andy Muschietti or somebody else. I want Zack to be there, helping that direct that, get that vision. I want to see that Final Crisis. I want to see that. Because, man, one thing about DC, I hate all these untold things that never come to fruition. And it started way back in the day with Green Lantern, when Mark Strong, an amazing Sinestro, at the end of the movie, put on the Ring of Fear, got the yellow suit, and we never fucking seen a movie again. And that was aggravating, because Green Lantern really wasn't a bad movie. And believe it or not, and I don't know if a lot of people know, that was actually supposed to be the beginning of the DCEU. Now, the DCEU was supposed to start in 2011, not 2013. It was supposed to start off with Green Lantern. And you know what, man? That sucks. It sucks, man. I hate all these unfulfilled, broken promises, man. You lose your audience like that, man. Nobody wants to see shit that you're not going to finish. So please, Warner Brothers, get your fucking shit together and finish this damn story, because everybody wants to see it and it'll make a lot of money. Alright, guys, that's my rants for today, man. Hope everybody has a blessed day. Remember, man, God first and family. And until the next video, take care, guys. God bless.